about something today, and about finding the perfect partner. Who here thinks that he found the perfect partner? Hands up. Show hands. Yes, scream. Woo! Who found it? Okay, that's a lot of people. That's more than expected. I'll talk to you in 1 year. Yeah, because finding the perfect partner is not that easy. So if you say you found him already, you're probably just middle in the process. And the process is pretty long. So I thought about an analogy to describe the process. And since some people say relationships are like war, I thought a good analogy would be the history of the United States. USA, you're welcome. So stay with me. So when the US was really small and a tiny country, they had this crazy friend abroad, France, and they said like, oh man, come on, let's rebel, YOLO, woo! So they went to their mom, Great Britain, and they were all like, okay, mom, I want to move out. And Great Britain was like, no, you can't move out. And then America was like, but I thought this is America. And then they moved out. And then after they moved out from their moms, they had to figure out where they're going, you know, personality, where are they going, good or bad guys, you know, south, north, Civil War stuff going on. And then they had their first great love, which was Germany in the First World War. And that went quite well for a few years, and then they broke up. And you know, after every first love, you have the Great Depression. And when you're in the Great Depression, you do some stupid things, like a rebound with Germany in World War II. So they went for the rebound, and after the rebound, that was quite cool that Germany dropped out because they already had an eye on Russia. Yeah, it was so mean, they're dating Germany and then having an eye on Russia. But Russia was the first really big love, because they got engaged with Russia, and like every good marriage, there was no real interaction. It was like a Cold War, you know, no combat. And after 50 years, Russia was just fed up with it. Russia was just like, I can't handle this anymore, I'm leaving. And they went into a Great Depression. And America was alone, you know, they were sad, they had nobody anymore. And they were looking around to find a new partner, and they were like, oh, Somalia? No, there's a one-night stand. And oh, Kosovo? Nah, just a fling. And then, out of nowhere, the perfect partner appeared. Just with a massive boom, suddenly terrorism was there. With its big bombs and long hair. And they seemed to be everywhere. They seemed to be everywhere. Because that shows that they were in love with them. Because when you're in love with somebody, you think they're everywhere. They saw Muslim people, they saw a Muslim person from behind. They were like, ah, terrorist! And then when you turned around, you were like, oh no, it's not a terrorist, it's cool. Or, to put it in the words of my girlfriend, every time I see somebody with your stupid hat, I think it's you. I have this cool for that. Yeah, but instead of like normal people, because they sent messages like, oh, I need to see you, and then nobody responded. And then instead of like being normal people and just leaving it, they tracked them down with the NSA. And they're like the equivalent to the guy sitting in the bushes outside your house. And they tracked them down, and that's what happens when you have a crush. Sometimes when you track your crush down, you learn something about your crush, you realize that your crush is just an old man sitting in his house watching child porn. Especially when you meet him on the internet. Especially when you meet him on the internet. So when they realized that, they took a step back and looked at everything, and then they realized it was Russia all along. And like every good relationship, they're now ruining their economy. So
your mum's on Tinder and your dad's on Grindr. I connected with your nana on Granny Sex Finder. Your brother does things behind a very dodgy club. Your sister's a masseuse who does more than rub. How I know your auntie, I'd rather not say. And the things your uncle does will turn your hair grey. I know your whole family, but that's as far as it goes. From you, all I get is a polite little no. It's not necessarily funny, it's poetry.
I'm from South Africa, and a lot of people ask me often, you know, is South Africa a dangerous place? And I say, well, that depends. It depends where you go, what you do. You know, you need to be vigilant. You need to look out for your surroundings. If you're walking out late at night, make sure that you're not wearing any flashy jewelry or cameras or anything. You know, if you're driving somewhere, make sure your windows are up and your doors are locked. Or, for instance, if you're a woman and you need to go to the toilet at 3 a.m. in the morning, make sure that your husband's not a legless Paralympian. And my wife and I, you know, we finally got married. She's French and a nudist, yay. And she decided, well, you know, let's go on holiday to where I used to go on holiday. And I said, okay, great. So we went to a nudist camp with her parents. So we sat down, busy having lunch. I put my towel down on the chair at 7 o'clock in the morning, like a good German would. And we were sitting down having lunch, all around in a circle, baguette, couscous salad, brie, cheese. And all of a sudden, my baby son starts choking. And my wife grabs a towel from under me. And as that happens, I'm jumping up like this. My mother-in-law is reaching over for a baguette. And boom, cock to the face. My wife's straw drops. My mother-in-law's glasses and dentures go flying across the camping site. And my father-in-law just stares at me. And then he starts smiling. He's like, finally, we've got something in common. Thank you very much. You guys have been great.
I'm from Rotterdam originally. Anyone else from Rotterdam here? Rotterdam, if you don't know, is kind of the rival city of Amsterdam, so it was kind of a touchy subject when I had to tell my parents I'm moving out and I'm going to university, and not just that, I'm moving to Amsterdam. And then my mother said, well, that means that you will become an export product. Which is kind of sweet. Or as my father put it, disinherited. That's what they call it. It's, yeah. Those things are very close together in Rotterdam. That was nice. Just want to tell one quick thing. It's actually, it's not a film tip, it's actually an anti-film tip. A movie that you shouldn't see. Like I said, I'm from Rotterdam, and Rotterdam was bombed by Franz's countrymen in the war. So it was completely bombed, and they made a movie out of it. And it's called Het Bombardement. Has anyone seen that movie? Terrible movie. It stars a Dutch singer who can't act for shit, and I went to see it with my family. And well, let me put it this way: even my grandmother thought that the actual bombing in 1945 was more fun than the movie about the bombing. So please skip that movie. I've been Jeroen Koster. Have a great evening. Thank you.